Who really controls free speech? You, the vote, or the super PACs with the money?
It's AIPAC. It's AIPAC. Everybody knows it now. Anybody paying attention knows. You look at what's going on, you look at what's been released with the Epstein files, most horrible things in the world. That's not even all of it, and nobody's being arrested.
Do you believe Trump was really shot in the face, or was that a cover-up?
God only has what to say.
Do you think America is owned by Israel? Wow. That is so messed up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 92 of the Traders Brawl podcast, where we feature entrepreneurs, money gurus, business leaders, and even fitness freaks on the show. I'm Adel, your host. If you're new here, welcome. Today's guest is Bruce Porter, Chairman and CEO at Global Boost. Bruce is an early Bitcoin pioneer and has spent over a decade championing free speech through decentralized blockchain technology. He also leads the Impact Money Show, a global media platform reaching millions daily and amplifying independent voices worldwide. Beyond crypto and free speech, Bruce brings experience in diplomacy, serving as Washington, D.C.'s representative for Liberland while producing elite global events. Bruce, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Adel. It's great to be here. It is wonderful to be back in Dubai. It's been a few months since I've been here. I was coming every month for a while. I know we're going to talk about some important things today. One of them is free speech. Also, we have the right to bear arms, which Adel is obviously a big fan of. He's got bearing his arms, right to bear arms here in their new studio at Web3 TV, which is so nice, guys. So nice. Very, very nice. And you can see even behind us. This,
I know, right? The new
it is
environment.
Absolutely beautiful. Happy to be here, Adel.
It's so great. We met over LinkedIn, then right after LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and then you had your event. I just met you at Crypto Monday's event. It's crazy how years went by and we never crossed paths, but only now we did, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah, it's absolutely great.
Amazing. So this podcast is on fitness and financial freedom. I love to bridge these two together. I like to bring wealth and health into one. And today is going to be on the blockchain and also on free speech. Yep. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with, you're trying to build free speech using blockchain technology. Walk me through how you're trying to do that.
Well, first of all, one of the most important things, right? The reason I got involved in crypto way back when, right? Bought my first Bitcoin at $70 was because I saw this financial system that we had that was basically enslaving, not basically, it was enslaving everybody. And I saw, oh my gosh, here's Bitcoin. This is a way that we can win. And I was right. Now, fast forward all these years and, there's all kinds of other things that have come in. But free speech is, of course, paramount to any type of freedom,
Right.
Any type of freedom. So in the beginning, it was, okay, we have a monetary system. Now, I always wanted to build, we started Global Boost, the coin that I started back in 2013. Actually, we redid it in 2014. And it's a Bitcoin fork. And even in the beginning, we wanted, I actually built like a social network kind of around it. But we weren't using the Bitcoins. We weren't using the actual Satoshis to do it, right? I wanted to, but it wasn't possible at that point. Now you fast forward, they do the SegWit update, right? And now we can have ordinals and everything. And so what we did, of course, is we updated ours as well. And so now you can put ordinals, and you can publish media, you can publish content, you can publish these things, and it's immutable. You can't take it away, and not only that, but I don't have control over it. You look at, and we can get into some of that stuff a little bit later, but you look at these chains, which everybody's losing money. A lot of people at the moment now, Solana, Ripple, Ethereum, these types of things, guys. What we've done is put another layer of people that can freeze, seize, and confiscate your money. Okay.
True.
You have another layer now. You're not just dealing with the governments of the world. You're dealing with another shadowy layer of God only knows who. And so Global Boost, BSDY, is built the same way as Bitcoin, so it's immutable, it's uncensorable. And now, of course, we're developing that layer so that, and we already can inscribe and everything else, but it's not user-friendly yet. And once that's done, I think it'd be very important, really for the future of the world. You look at what's going on, you look at what's been released with the Epstein files over the last week, and it's like jaw-dropping. It's jaw-dropping. It's empire crashing. It's like, it's crazy. We're talking like child sacrifice and mutilation and pedophilia and all the stuff that it shouldn't be controversial for me to say. It's speechless. It shouldn't be controversial for me to talk about it, and I don't think it is anymore, and we need to have the conversation more and more.
Definitely.
But in order, you can't post about it really on Facebook. You can't really post about it on other platforms. You can still on X at the moment, and you can still post about it on Global Boost. Right now, you got to use it's a little bit of a hacker way, but that is one of the ways that, of course, we're championing free speech.
And I also want to touch on that, the enslavement of money that we're in. And going back to COVID, when COVID happened, many theorists have theorized that COVID was an experiment, a social experiment to get people to see how people would cooperate with authority, get everybody's data vaccinated, because you need to get your information when you get your vaccination. Then you have this large database of all these people who got vaccinated, and now it's in their hands. And now what they're rolling out next is digital IDs, central banking digital currencies. What do you make of that, Bruce?
It's a disaster. There's no doubt about it, Adel. And I think that most people are at the point now where they realize it's a disaster. If anybody that's paying attention, a lot of people aren't paying attention. I get it. I'm older now, in my 20s and in my teens, and maybe even I'm probably in my 20s. I grew up after that. I didn't care either, right? I didn't know, I didn't care, whatever. The world was a different place at the time. It wasn't as bad maybe as it is now, or it wasn't in our face. But if anybody who's paying attention knows it's really bad. And you look around at the health problems that have come from this vaccine, and then you look at the people who pushed it on us. And I won't call them out right now on this podcast, but you can go look for yourself. Who are the people that locked you down? Who are the people at the CDC and these other places who locked you down, who told you couldn't have a job unless you took the vaccine? I haven't had a job. At 12 years old, I started my first company. I've never had a job. And it's one of the reasons why I can speak.
Yeah.
Because if I had a job, they would say, "Yay, Bruce, is this you? You can't say this."
No.
Yeah, you want your job, and then what do? You get your big mortgage too, right? You get your big mortgage. Now the 50-year mortgage they're talking about, you get your big mortgage, you get your big car payment, 10-year car payment, and then what? You're stuck. You're just a slave. You're a slave. I would argue that we're all in this. We're all in this position. Anyway, some of us in it less than others. But yeah, they built the database. They took all of our DNA. The tests.
That's our
the
property.
DNA
That's
test.
our property.
And the DNA test. And look, what did they do? They feed it into the AI, and then what do they know? They know how to get you. They know what your body is susceptible to. They can do designer viruses.
Yeah.
Of course, Secretary Kennedy pointed out that the COVID virus attacked certain people more than other people. So was that on purpose? I don't know. He certainly thought it was at the time. Of course, he doesn't really talk about it anymore. But these types of things are real. And it was, I don't know if it was an experiment per se. I think that, the powers that are pulling, which I think are pretty obvious at the moment, the powers that are pulling the strings, they want total power,
total control, and a social credit system. And if you misbehave or you try to challenge authority, they can shut you down with one button. Because they have your database, they have everything linked to your digital ID. Everything.
Yeah.
So they can stop you from being able to pay.
Yeah.
They can stop your mortgage payments. I don't know what they can do.
Everything. Look, guys, I own my house outright. But if I don't pay my taxes every year, I have to pay my taxes again. Every year for the same house that I've had.
Yeah.
And if I don't, they take it.
They take it? They take the whole thing?
They take the whole thing.
In the U.S.?
In the U.S. So I don't even, let's be honest, I don't own the house. I rent the house from the government.
Wow.
Yes, and if I don't pay them, they take it.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's the same thing with the cars. They tax us on our cars every year. And if you don't pay that, I don't know what the system is. They take it or they just fine you. It's a much smaller deal.
Right.
But for the homes, absolutely. We have old people, retired people who have owned their home. Maybe they bought their home for $50,000, $40,000 way back when. The house is now worth $500,000. They can't afford the taxes and they lose it. We're talking like people 60, 70 years old and they lose their house. They're evicted because they can't pay the government. The government, which is the bankers, guys. It's the bankers. They're the ones that are in charge.
This is insane.
It's
I didn't
insane.
know this.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And we have a remnant of free speech available at the time, and we better use it. We better use it because it's like, you know, the last bastion of freedom, they say. The last bastion of freedom. Well, let me tell you guys, the last bastion of freedom is in trouble. Big time. Big time. And I would also argue that the last bastion of freedom is not just the U.S., it's in all of us. And that's what crypto did. That's what blockchain did. It brought all of us together. I said this on stages around the world for years. And that was that as a community, as a blockchain community, as a crypto community, as a Bitcoin community, we are the most powerful group in the world, across borders and everything else. If we actually start finally working together, which we have to do to save ourselves, then we can actually push the change that we need. And the change is coming. I don't know, you know, things happen in decades, right? And so it's hard to say, you know. I thought the dollar was going to crash, you know, 20 years ago.
It's still here. But let's put it bluntly, though, because who really controls free speech? We understand that governments, you vote for government in a democratic fashion, you believe it's democratic, but really the reality is that super PACs actually own free speech. The super PACs control the government because they're the ones lobbying all this money to the government. Who is the government going to listen to? You, the vote, or the super PACs with the money?
The super PACs help, but I mean, it's AIPAC. It's AIPAC. So, I mean, it is.
You went there.
I did.
It's the truth.
It is. It's the truth. It's the truth. So we have what 435 congressmen, right? And we have 100 senators. I think that's the deal. I mean, I could be embarrassed and be wrong. Maybe it's 100 less in the House, but I don't think so. And we have like one congressman basically who is working for us, and we have like one senator. We have Thomas Massey, and we have Ron Paul. I was just at Ron Paul's birthday.
Wow.
But, you know, they come in, they get their salary. All right, so you come in, you get elected. All right, well, here's your $175,000 salary, and plus they pay for everything and do this and that and the other. And then AIPAC comes in, and, oh, we'll give you $5 million, or we'll give you $200,000 more, or we'll give you this, or we'll give you that. And then we just need you to do this, and we just need you to vote this way on this bill.
Right.
Maybe they don't have, and guys, it is what it is, because here's the thing. There's a long history of people just getting offed if you don't do it. So you take the money, and you do it, or you don't, and you might not survive. And that is the fact of the matter. And more people need to talk about it. And I have, obviously, I feel like it's so important right now.
Yeah.
I have kids. One day you'll have kids if you don't have them. I hope, because that is the most amazing thing that you can do.
Fingers crossed.
It's not about us. Obviously, I want to live as long as I can. I want to have a great life. If we can extend life and I can live past 100 years or something, that's my goal. I want to live to at least be 150 years old. But let's face it, guys. I might not make it, okay? I mean, even me talking like this, I might not make it, right? But even just old age, I might not make it. I could get cancer, I could get, you know, all of these types of things. But the next generation is what it's all about. You know, it's the kids. Like, so what kind of world are we leaving our kids? You know, is it okay that I leave my daughters with the world where if they say something wrong, they can have someone knocking on the door, which is what's happening in the state of Florida. People are criticizing the mayor, you know, standing in front of all of the foreign flags, and the sheriff or whoever the police force is knocking on the door. Is this you? Now, they're not arresting right now, but what's the next step? Are we going to say, okay, we're not going to do that, you're not allowed to do that, which they're not allowed to under the Constitution, or are we going to go further? I mean, what's the next step? It's not going to stay there. So everybody needs to realize that. And to kind of tie it back to crypto, that was always the thing about it was, the dollar. People don't realize, they talk about, the U.S. is $40 trillion in debt. Okay, well, first of all, people don't understand, who do we own it? Who do we owe the debt to? Well, you owe the debt to the bankers, okay? And one. Two, how did we amass the debt? Okay, well, let's talk about how we got this $40 trillion in debt. It's debt on paper money that they issued that they don't even have. They don't have all the money. So every time they issue the money, so let's say they issue $100 billion. Well, that's at least $3 billion to the banking cartel, right? To the central bankers. And that's how we amassed it. So it's just paper baloney anyway. And a few times in history they've told them to pound sand. And I think we're going to get to that point.
We're going to get to that point.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also, before we get to that, things like you mentioned AIPAC. So AIPAC is a Jewish lobby.
Right.
There's no bullshitting about that. They do want to push Jewish values.
Right. Which is fine. You want to push whatever you want to push. It's fine. I don't know what your background
I don't have any
is,
religion.
but maybe you want to push yours. For me, I'm a Christian guy. I think everybody should be able to choose whatever they want. But of course, I will push Christianity, right? I think it's a wonderful thing. It builds great societies. It builds nice places. The thing about Christianity is the middle class, having a middle class is very much a Christian type of thing. Because to be a good Christian, you just need to have a nice life, have a nice wife, have kids. And this is respectful. This is like, kind of a peak thing, right? We don't
love your neighbor.
Love your neighbor. And they say it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than to pass through a needle, or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, yes,
what I'm saying,
Jewish lobby.
the Jewish lobby. Do you think America is owned by Israel?
Oh, it's totally and completely controlled by Israel. I was having a conversation with some people last night. And here's the thing. Everybody knows it now. Anybody paying attention knows. Anybody. Anyone paying attention. And so, again, it's like the water boiling, like slowly boiling. Well, it's slowly boiled, and now, it's, I was having a conversation on the way here. I had a guy on my show about a year or two ago. I met him at a conference, and he's a famous guy. I won't say his name. Maybe I would if I remembered his name, but I don't. So, anyway, but I'm having a conversation with him, and just a normal conversation between two men, and we're talking about this and that and money and this. And I said, well, look, I don't think that one group, at this point, a Jewish group, should control all the monetary policy for the United States. Don't you think that you should have, I don't know, maybe a few Christians on there, maybe some Muslims on there? Do you think it's proper for this small group of people to control the monetary policy for 350 million people? And he said, if you Goyim would just stay out of this, if you Goyim would just leave us alone, it would be fine. And this man he is putting articles on Newsweek, regularly. He's putting articles on major platforms, calling me a Goyim. It's crazy. And then you see the emails, the Epstein emails, that's how they're talking. So, it's a big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now my next question is, we're moving on to, we get past the super PACs, get past the social credit score system, where they'll be able to control you through digital IDs, shut you down. We know that's coming.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before that comes.
Yes.
They already have facial digital recognition.
Yes.
That means they can profile you immediately you step into the airport.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have everything about you immediately. All your title deeds, everything.
Yep.
So the next thing I want to know, the question I have is, does free speech come at a price?
Yes.
Yeah? You have to be rich to have free speech.
I don't think that come at a price. I didn't take it that way.
Okay.
Come at a price meaning
There's a consequence.
People have died for us to have the right. right? And you might die to have the right. Obviously, if you're to your way of it being expensive, yes, as we covered a few minutes ago, you can't have a job and talk like I've just talked over the last 15 minutes.
No.
I would be fired.
Yeah.
That's it. And so yeah, it's a heavy price, but it's so important. It's so important, and I can't even the Epstein file, and that's not even all of it, guys. There's so much more, and nobody's being arrested. And there's girls that are buried supposedly in the back of the 19th hole on a golf course. They're buried here. They're buried there. There's like 1 million or 500,000 or 1 million kids that go missing every year. Putin said the vampire ball is going to end, and I think that we need to. I talked about this after January 6th. So January 6th, I was there on January 6th.
During the insurrection?
Of course.
Oh, shit.
It wasn't an insurrection.
It was or not?
No.
Oh.
Here's what happened. I'll kind of break it down. I mean, all of us were there. There was 14 million people there.
Okay, wow.
They've obscured the history. And they make it seem like it was a very small group of people. I was there. There was 14 million people. I was there. I was reporting, right? So I did a couple of videos and this and that. And then it came around to the front side or the back side, because I was in between the Supreme Court and the Capitol, which was a much smaller area, and I didn't even know really what was going on the other side until the flashbang started going off, and we're like, oh my gosh, there's shooting or something, and then we're like, okay, and so we go around to the front, and there's all these agitators, and that's what they were, man. They were they weren't us. There was a different group of people there, and they were the ones breaking down the gates. They were the ones breaking the windows, and all this stuff. Now, not to say that, most of us knew that the government was being overthrown at that point. That's why we were there. And they did overthrow the government at that point, and they installed this guy. Arizona was supposed to register their complaint, right? And then once that happened, that they didn't register the complaint or something, then quite possibly most of us felt like that was the moment where peacefully that everything had to end. But before we even got to that moment, or as we got to that moment, what did they do? They broke everything down. They had guys on bullhorns. All right, guys, it was so we left, thankfully, because looking back, I probably, guys went to jail for a long time. We left probably 30 minutes or so before everything. Once the pepper spray started going everywhere, we had our Global Boost. Global Boost was there. So we had a big Global Boost mascot.
Wow.
Because we were talking about blockchain voting. Probably to FBI agents. Talking about, because they're all asking us, well, what's this?
What's this?
Global Boost. We can do blockchain voting on Global Boost.
Right.
It's immutable and blah, blah, and this and that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's get Global Boost out of here. I order a Uber. I can only get a big black Uber, but no Uber.
No Uber.
Boom, I get a big black Uber. It clicks, and I'm like, let's get out of here.
Get out of here.
And it was right as we turned, you could almost feel the masses of everybody come with us, and thank God I had that Uber. And we met him a few blocks away. And so we were a few blocks away in front of some building, talking with the Uber guy, trying to get him over there, as everything went crazy at the Capitol. And so all the police and everything, we're like, wow, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so then
before we move on, but I want to know, why don't you call that an insurrection?
Well, I guess because it wasn't. So an insurrection, I don't think anybody even took a gun. Right? Nobody took a gun. There's these guys were planning to take guns, or they were this, or they were that. There's all that stuff. But nobody took a gun. You know what I mean? So it was a protest.
It was a protest that led to violence, no?
But the violence was from the FBI.
From the
and
FBI,
those guys,
their own people?
They had 200, 300 people there. It's all public now. Those were the ones.
But the ones who were banging on the doors.
The big, tall guy, the one who didn't get any trouble for rallying everybody up. Obviously, guys, he's obviously an asset. Yeah, agreed. Yes. There could have been some dumb people who went along and, but it was them, that did that, and they did it because they needed to do that, because the Senate then, they locked everybody in their home, they told everybody to go home, right? And they locked everyone down. You weren't allowed to go outside. And then they went into the Senate and approved everything. And I mean, there was so much fraud. I mean, it was like crazy. Wow. You must have even seen it from here. I mean, they had truckloads of ballots coming and going and everything else. We should have just redone the whole thing. And then we got Sleepy Joe, which I mean, look at that guy walk. Like, was that even him or was that a robot? I still don't know. Like, look at that guy walking, his shuffle walk, and then look at Elon Musk's humanoid android and tell me they don't look the same. It looks like the same walk.
That's wow. That's one interesting theory.
I think switching out. I mean, that's something
that's actually
well
something
documented.
well documented.
Paul McCartney, okay, the Beatles. You're probably too young. They switched out Paul McCartney. He was one of the original ones that people know about, but nobody really knows about it now. But that's not the same Paul McCartney from the original Beatles.
Some say Hitler and Walt Disney.
Really? I didn't know that.
I don't know if this. The person behind Disney.
Okay.
Yeah, something.
Walt.
Yeah. There's a lot of gray area here.
There's a lot of gray areas.
But okay, we'll move past that now.
Okay.
The insurrection happened. You saw it firsthand, and in your in your opinion, it's not an insurrection, but you saw protests really happening. Did you feel that was well deserved?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like overthrowing the government?
Absolutely. Well, the way they overthrew the government was by letting everything go. I mean, there was, the certain states had registered complaints.
Okay.
And if those complaints if we had followed the constitutional steps, then we would have had a revote in Arizona. We would have had a revote in different places.
Right.
And what they did was force that not to happen. So they overthrew the government. We were there to stop them from overthrowing the government.
Okay.
But
that didn't work out.
Well, it became obvious that wasn't going to happen.
No, of course.
Right, at that point.
But did you think that was instigated by Trump?
What?
By him saying, go to Capitol Hill and
I think that
storm.
if I understand he was under a lot of pressure. I'm definitely not a fan of him now as I was then at that moment. I was never really a big fan per se, but he was definitely better than everybody else.
Yeah,
but
didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, but in the end, I mean, he should have just told everyone to stand tall. Like, don't leave until
he goes, Proud Boys, stand by and stand down.
Yeah,
Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys is a funny one too. I mean, all those organizations like that, and I don't mean to offend any of the Proud Boys. Okay,
Yeah.
I know there's some amazing patriots there, but it appears to me that they have been used over time, to push. This is so bad.
But let me just say something.
We have to do this.
Let me just say something. If it weren't Proud Boys, white Proud Boys, if it were Muslims, can you imagine the articles, the headlines?
Oh yeah,
if it were Muslims
absolutely.
protesting.
Oh no, you guys are the easiest. The Muslims are the easiest ones to demonize.
Easiest target.
Yeah, they're like brown, and they wear gowns, and they cover their women, and that's it.
And they're circumcised.
You guys bad.
No, I know.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, Enrico is a Spanish guy.
Yeah.
And he's the lead, was the leader of the Proud Boys. So I think in general, especially in the America that I grew up in, we were raised so colorblind, and so everything blind, and okay, it's fine, and really, it's a wonderful way to live. Everybody's equal. Everybody. I am not better than anybody else. I can make myself, I can hone my skills, I can hone my trade, I can make myself perform better than everybody, but my DNA, my makeup, my soul is not better than anybody else's. And that's how we were raised, and that's how most, so they talk about the white people and the racist, and it's we're the most unracist people ever. And that's, I think, a prime example was Enrique, the Spanish guy, was in charge of the Proud Boys, which is supposed to be a white supremacist, so they say, gang. And I think that for the most part, which does circle back kind of to Christianity, okay, and I'm not here to evangelize, although I think it's important to.
There are values you can extrapolate
There are values. And that is one of them, that no soul is more special.
Yeah.
No person is more special. And that we're all equal. And, and that's like when people start to divide people by race or religion or any of those things. And even now, like, well, we have to, some of the people on my side, they want to, remove everybody from the U.S. except the white people and this and that. And it's like, wrong. It's wrong. It is. Because everybody is equal in the eyes of God.
Right.
And we should, even if you're not Christian, I think most of the religions, have that type of thing. Like, we are all equal, and it's important. We are all part of the human family. We don't know what is out there. We have Atlas flying through space at speeds no one's ever seen before, and we don't know, right? We have one of these like looking glass guys, one of the one-eye guys, and he says that he sees 500,000 alien people on this ship.
Wow.
Yes.
Extraterrestrials?
Extraterrestrials, and they are in a state where they're not aging. They're not thinking or anything. They're just like in a comatose state. Now, who knows? Okay, but we might not be alone.
Yeah, I don't believe you are.
But we might be. And that was something that Elon said the other day. He said, look, guys, if there were aliens, I would be the one to know. I would be the one to know. Now, it doesn't mean you can trust Elon, right? He might just be lying or covering for him. Maybe he's an alien himself.
Maybe he's,
I find it very hard to believe that we're alone. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But we have to be ready for both of them. Like one, maybe we are alone. And maybe we are, and the next 1,000 years is going to be us going out throughout the galaxy like we did as we expanded on Earth. And that's quite possible. But we are all human. We're all human.
Soon we're going to say we're all humanoids. But let me come back to free speech. Just before I do, as a U.S. American citizen, which you are, do you believe Trump was really shot in the face? Or was that a cover-up? The blood and everything, it went through his ear.
No, I don't.
That was a cover-up?
I mean, you saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like Hollywood.
If he was shot in the ear, he'd fly over. He'd fly on the floor.
Like, look, there's no mark on his ear.
There's no mark. There's not even a hole.
There's not a hole. No, it's supposedly hit right here.
It's supposed to be a hole.
As soon as it happened, it looked like Hollywood, right?
Oh my God.
And then if you go and you like look, the thing is, anytime we have one of these tragedies, if you go down the rabbit hole, it really sucks because nothing makes sense, right?
Yeah.
When Charlie Kirk when he got shot, supposedly, he's sitting there, and if you watch, he's got his ring on one finger,
right?
And then as he gets shot, it comes up, and then the ring's on the other finger.
On a different finger?
It switched fingers. So is that CGI? Is that or did he like? I mean, all right. I used to wear a ring when I first got married. I don't really wear it anymore, but I guess I could take it off one finger and put it on the other. But like in that brief second, like I don't know, man. That's like pretty far fetched. So I don't know. And so, but back to your point was not Charlie. It was Trump getting shot in Butler. If you go back and watch the videos before and after he got shot, so he gets shot or whatever, he goes down, he's got the blood, and then before he does the fight like this, they make sure they have the camera crew come over so that they can get the best shot.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is so messed up.
Yeah. So now, but then if they did try to shoot him, and then why didn't, when he got in, if somebody tried to shoot me, as soon as I got into president, I'd sure as heck know who the hell it was, right? I would find out who it was. Oh, it was Iran? Okay. Or, oh, it was Israel? Okay. But no, there's none of that. That's another thing, right? But yeah, no, I think that it was
staged.
It was staged.
Wow. Okay. Damn. Let's move on. Okay, platforms. Since we're on free speech, do platforms like Pornhub and OnlyFans, are they considered free speech?
Well, look, pornography in general is horrible for society.
Okay.
Okay. Not saying that I haven't watched pornography in my days. Okay. But now, as I round my middle ages, and you look at it, and I have an 11-year-old daughter. Do I really want her to be able to find this stuff with a simple Google search? Like, no. Like, absolutely not. Like, why should that be there, right? And then you look at the people behind it, and it's the same doggone people. It's the same people who started Pornhub and the same people who started OnlyFans. And it's horrible. It's horrible that my daughter can have I have a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old, right? And so the 15-year-old, she sees, and this girl, she made $60 million in her first year of doing, I'll just do it with my boyfriend or this and that. Pimping themselves out. Life is special. Just like every person, every life is special. And doing that to your soul is bad.
Agreed, but is it free speech?
Is it free speech? Well, that's certainly what the same people, push it as. But then when you really want free speech, they say, oh, you can't say that. So I would argue that if free speech, no one's saying it should be maybe illegal, but certainly not available like that. I don't feel like it's free speech that it should be available for my minors. I don't think that it's good for society to have OnlyFans. I think it changes the dynamic. I think if you look at, I was very lucky. I met my wife 30 years ago. We liked each other a lot. We had an ice skating tryout. I was an ice skater in a former life as well. And so we had an ice skating tryout. We liked each other.
That's fitness related.
Yes.
Yep.
I didn't exactly. I didn't end up skating with her at the time, but we went out a few times, and I told her, "You look like you could be from my family," which was like prophetic, looking back, And so then we see each other a few times over the next 10 years, and then again we're living with the same area again, back in D.C. In my late 20s, and we're dating again, and I'm like, well, if she loves me and I love her and I know how great she is, and you just kind of I went for it. I think that if something like OnlyFans had been available, I'm not saying that my wife would have done that, but that that to have that as baggage when you're so young. And guys, I did so much stuff and said so much stuff in my teens and 20s and even 30s, and now to have it follow you for the rest of your life like that, and not to mention the diseases and everything else, it's not good. So is it free speech? I didn't see that. I would have to kind of think about the angle, I guess. I don't think it should be illegal, but I don't think that I wouldn't want it readily available.
Right. But it coincides with free the nipple movement. Free the nipple. Men are able to free their nipples. Why can't women free their nipples?
Right. Well,
it's free speech. It's my body, my rights.
Yeah, but it's the same people behind all those.
Most likely.
No, it's not most likely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The feminist movement. Abortion. You want to talk about a Holocaust? Kanye said it best. You want to talk about you want to go visit a Holocaust museum? Let me take you down to the Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is the people that do abortion.
Yeah.
And the state pays. So we pay. And if you look at Generation Z, right now, Generation Z has already lost 1/3 due to abortion. So already out the gate, people are wondering, well, why is the U.S. in the state that it's in? Well, we killed 1/3 of our kids, and it's disgusting.
I know. It doesn't look good on paper, but they claim it's my body, my rights. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm just trying to play on two sides here, and that's why they say, look, it's free speech. It's my right. I get to free the nipple. I get to have the abortion.
Right.
Where do you sit with that?
Abortion should be illegal.
Okay.
100%.
And what about freeing the nipple?
I don't care about freeing the nipple.
If you want to free the nipple, that's on you.
I'm just as, I love women. I've always loved women.
All right, let's move on. I love that. Let's move on to blockchain now. We'll wrap up soon. So you've long linked blockchain to free speech. Now, is decentralized, are you building a fantasy here? Is really decentralized voting and decentralized free speech actually ever going to work when we live in a centralized world?
Well, we won't be able to live in a centralized world. That's like, we look at what's happening now. Even this interview, I'm sure it'll go over better now than it would a month ago or a year ago, right?
Yeah.
But there are very few people who are willing to sit here and have a conversation like this.
True, but even then, even if I post it, where am I posting it in? They control Instagram,
everything.
TikTok.
Listen,
they control everything.
They own everything.
They own everything.
And this is what has gone on throughout history and why everybody gets at a certain point, because you also look at the ways that they got it. And it's, they crashed the market, and then they did this. Epstein talked about, we short the shipping. Let the goyim deal with reality. So it's subversive. It's a lot of different ways that they have it, but yeah, they own everything.
So how can decentralized free speech work? How can you build that? Because that's what you're advocating
it's
for.
It's the biggest thing at this point.
And how are you going to make that possible?
Well, I covered it a little bit at the beginning. You make it possible. Will I become a target more than I am now? Probably. I don't have control over the blockchain, though. I mean, that is clear. It's an old blockchain from 2014. I don't have control. I've totally walked away from it twice.
Really? Including
completely.
BSTY.
Dude, man, life goes on, right?
Right.
I mean, I've been married 17 years. I got 2 kids. You get in certain points in life. And as well, it's very easy to succeed in the blockchain space if you have a cartel pumping your coin, okay? Or if you have the chosen behind you. If you don't, it's hard. It's hard. And so, yeah, absolutely. I walked away a couple of times. I came back. People were still mining BSTY. They were still trading it for Bitcoin. And I don't think, even if I tried, I could kill it. It's just like Bitcoin in that way. It's a proof of work, and that's another reason why I say, guys, proof of work coins are real, and the rest of this stuff is just like paper. It's just paper money. It's casino money. Yeah. So you have a proof of work coin, Digibyte, Litecoin, Global Boost, Bitcoin. There's like 20, I think, that are still around.
Yes.
These are the types of things that can happen. And will I, or what is the exact route of doing it? I mean, that's one way we're doing it, but another way is like this. You just have to keep doing it. Okay.
But is Global Boost still running to help make that happen?
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you creating, I just got a curiosity, are you creating a decentralized social media?
Yes.
Because is that what you're doing with Global Boost?
Yes.
And it's fully live?
It just is not very user friendly at the moment.
Okay, you're working on it. That's great that you're still building it.
But it works. My colleague broke the Masha story.
Oh wow.
On our blockchain.
The Masha Epstein's Bill Gates story.
Yeah, well that one, yeah, and the rest of it. It's not just that. I mean, she was doing the whole Web3 thing, and I told you, but I won't talk about that. But
you're afraid of censorship.
No, I'm not. But anyway, he put it out on an ordinal.
Okay.
On Global Boost, and it's there.
Okay,
and it's
perfect.
Immutable, and it's time stamped, and yeah. So those types of things. But we need to be able to put it out, inscribe it. I mean, they call it an ordinal on Bitcoin. We don't have to call it an ordinal, but inscribe it on the blockchain, and then we need to be able to comment, and we need to be able to. So this type of functionality is what.
As we wrap up this interview, can we put this content on Global Boost?
Not the whole thing, but yes. So we can link to. This is another issue, right? We can put images and stuff, but small at the moment. Now, other blockchains like BSV for one of them, and I'm not really a big BSV fan or a Craig Wright fan or anything like that. I don't dislike them or anything. I think they've done some great things, but they have these massive blocks. So that is something that possibly we would do in the future, but I don't think it's worked so well for them. So I'm not jumping at it, but creating a side chain, because we can create side chains on Global Boost just like Bitcoin, right? But creating a side chain to host this full interview, so then the ordinal or the inscription would go out on the main chain, link to the side chain. Those types of things we will develop.
The idea is we don't want this video to be censored. We don't want this video to be taken down by a platform.
Right.
And that's the idea behind
Which is a very real possibility.
Right. So Global Boost would ensure that.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. We're about to wrap up. Just 2 more questions.
I'm just getting started here.
We're just getting started, I know. But 2 more questions here. Yeah. Now, what we just described and discussed here about technology advancements, there's 2 ways you can see this, okay? Are we heading through a more decentralized movement, or are we heading through a more centralized digital ID movement, social credit score? Which way do you see it? Because we've got blockchain on one side, but we've still got advanced technology on the other side that does even more mass surveillance and spying. Where do you see we're heading?
It's horrible. Like if you, and I know we've talked about Epstein a bunch, but if you look at how he was operating, blackmail. Well, the truth is, our surveillance state has created that for all of us. We are all now, they can blackmail all of us, right? You can, I'm sure, every single person, right? You go to them and, all right, well, hey, nice life you have, here you are doing this, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20, whatever. Be a shame if that came out, or whatever. So that surveillance state is actually a honeypot as well. And so we need to see it for what it is, and we have to dismantle it. We have to dismantle it in order to be free.
I think the solution here is we need politicians from our generation, or mindsets like yours, to run the government.
No, there's no doubt about it. And it's really hard because back to the point, so if a guy like me runs, at this point in my life, they'll ruin me.
Yeah.
They'll ruin me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they want to keep their AIPAC paychecks. They want to keep their NRA.
And it's not even just about keeping them. It's about staying alive, too.
True.
You don't want to be JFK'd or Charlie Kirk'd or like whatever else, right? I mean, it's like what we're dealing with. And, how many people are out there that are willing to have this conversation? And it needs to be more people. And if you're on the side that we're saying is a problem and you think that's a problem, I welcome you guys to come out and have the conversation too. Because the conversation shouldn't be, oh, you're bad, you don't like us. It should be, oh my God, my people are doing this, we must stop it.
Yes.
And that needs to be the conversation. Anytime anybody says, oh, you're this, or you don't like this, or you're an anti-this, that's the wrong conversation, guys. Like, I am only talking about the most horrible things in the world. And not only that, but the taking of our freedom, the future generations, the future of humanity, the future of consciousness. And that's the bigger story. And that's like that's the line that everybody needs to go with, because, we're all human. Yeah. I don't think that anybody, even the ones on the wrong side, are inherently bad.
Yeah, wired to do evil.
Wired to do evil. Just like I don't think that my DNA is better. I don't think that your DNA is bad.
Right.
And so that conversation needs to happen. Now, where we go from here is very, very important.
People just need to wake the fuck up.
They need to wake up. They need to, admit things. They need to, genocide in Gaza. It's got to stop. We have to stop killing people. You have to stop taxing me through inflation and everything else and literally carrying out a genocide in another country. Carrying out a genocide with Planned Parenthood. Carrying out, it's like, so it's going to take a lot of men to stand up, and women, but women have primarily a different role a lot of times. And you have to understand too, someone said it the other day, and I love women, like I said, and I have tremendous respect for women, but women will always be on the side of the state. And just to unpack that a little bit, the woman is beautiful, and they're caring, and they are the ones who primarily make sure that the next generation is good and operational and everything else. And in order to do that, they need to work within a system.
Right.
And so almost always the women will side on the side of the state, whoever the state is run by, even if the state is bad. And I don't think it's inherently bad, one, to say it, or two, for them to do that, because they have a different job. But as men, we need to stand up. And we need to take the bullets if that's what needs to be done. And I don't think we should be martyrs. I don't think that there's a saint, actually, and I don't remember which one it is.
It's just sad that greed always wins. Greed.
Well, we are in a society where it wins, but if you go back,
I know,
100
but we're not
years,
going back. We're not.
Well, but forward can be different.
Yeah, I hope.
Well, I mean, what's the end game if nothing changes?
Well, Yeah, you're right. I agree. But in the eyes of the government, they just want total control.
Oh yeah, no.
So that's you're more manageable, predictable.
Yeah.
And so you can just listen to authority.
Yes.
You're right. Illusioned
And
by
pay your
democracy.
taxes. And pay your taxes. Democracy is very easy to control.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, democracy is very easy to control.
Is democracy an illusion?
It is at this point.
Okay, we're wrapping up
Yeah.
because otherwise we're going to get into a whole can of worms. Final question for you as we wrap up. What's next for you in life? Career-wise, parenthood, fatherhood, what's next for you?
Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to be here with you, Adel, and we've covered some amazing things. Family has been, I think, central. I've talked a lot about it. One of the things that when the market crashed in 2021, 2022, I started to do. I did theater as like a kid in high school and college and everything else, and I started to do theater with my girls. I said, "Hey, girls, let's try out for this play, Annie." And we all got in, and we did that one, and then we've done another one, and that's really blossomed into a lot of stuff. My youngest, my 11-year-old, is in School of Rock right now.
Cool.
Lawrence is the keyboard player, so she's Lori, the keyboard
Wow,
player.
I love that.
So actually, I'm flying home, and then we have opening night. My older daughter as well is very involved in a special school for arts and everything like that. So I think I would love to have more kids. And that was one of the things actually I said. I think we're past that point, my wife and I. But I encourage everybody, because that is one of the most beautiful things that you can do, and one of the most important things that you can do for society and for humanity is to have more kids. That's how we do it. So I'm going to continue to work with them and really enjoy every moment. Right now, I drive my 15-year-old quite a bit, and I told my wife this was like a year ago. For the next 2 years, I'm going to be home a lot more. I've been traveling a lot less to be on hand. And I'll tell you, there's not one car ride when I don't think like, okay, wow, she's going to be driving in a few months, and I'm not going to have these times anymore.
Wow.
And so that's really something special, something I hold very near and dear. I would like to now get back to one of the things that did stop during COVID as well was some of our philanthropic work that we were doing with the blind. So we've done a lot of different special needs or adaptive, they call them, sporting events for specifically ice skaters. I was a hockey player, then ice danced, right? So I'm a very, I coached for years.
Wow.
So the ice skating is something that we've done a lot of. So we've taught a lot of blind veterans and blind kids how to ice skate, how to play hockey. I had a hand in starting half of the blind hockey teams in the United States. And I would like to get back into that. So there's some ways that we're doing that. We've taken them bobsledding, bobsledding is really something else. But let me tell you, blind bobsledding, I wouldn't want to go down that thing right with my eyes closed is really something else. But getting back into stuff like that, I think as far as, with my professional career, I think it's very important to be a champion of free speech, a champion of free society, champion of freedom. Freedom. To be a champion of freedom. And that will continue. We'll have Global Boost, of course. We'll have our inscription or the social network out here over the next little bit. And that's going to be very, very important. I think that as well, my work with Liberland, I do, which you mentioned in the beginning, I'm the Washington, D.C. representative for Liberland, which is like the ambassador. We don't call me the ambassador because we're not recognized yet. But my work with Liberland is very important. We're going to continue to push liberty forward. I was actually with Ron Paul recently during his birthday, and then we gave him a medal of merit. There at his office afterwards. But it was really interesting to meet with Ron Paul. He's the father of the Liberty Movement. And to hear these guys and to listen to these guys who risked everything. And understand, too, that, sitting here, guys, I'm risking everything.
Yeah, you are. And I think you should hire some bodyguards going forward, because you're only going to get more deep into it as you're uploading things on Global Boost and you're exposing things that need to be exposed. Are you considering getting some bodyguards?
It's a real possibility. In America, luckily we have an open carry in different states.
Of course.
It's not all
the right to bear arms.
It's not everywhere. The right to bear arms, exactly. But yeah, I hope that my message that we are all created equally. and that everybody's soul is worth the same, and that every soul is redeemable no matter what you've done in the past. And I hope that that message will keep me alive.
But we're not all created equally, are we?
Yes.
Rockefellers.
They don't think so.
Rothschilds.
They don't think so. They don't think so.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're all human. We're all
human.
We all
That's
bleed.
true.
We all bleed red.
Right, well said, well said. Wow, this has been such an epic podcast. I mean, we've opened so many can of worms that not one podcast would be enough to highlight everything. But already we've planted so many different seeds that there's going to be a round 2. I really look forward to it.
Me too.
And I just want to say thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Adel. And thanks, Web3 TV. Guys, we did a great event yesterday with Crypto Money. You're going to see more of that here in Dubai with the Web3 TV team. Adel, man, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys, that is a wrap. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you found this insightful. We will leave all the links in the description so you can check out Bruce's profile, especially Global Boost if you're into DeFi and free speech. Thank you again for staying with us. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.